Hello, IBC. This is Amy Martin bringing you the weekly encouragement. I wanted to talk about the one thing. What is the one thing that you won't give up? We all have the one thing. Some of us have many things, right? But if you think about it, when you wake up in the morning, there's like this one thing that you won't leave the house without doing. Hopefully it's praying. But some of us, it's like, I have to have my coffee. I have to have my walk with my dog. I have to have my workout. I have to have some time with the kiddos. We all have, no matter what rush we're in the morning to get off to work, to get the kids to school, whatever it is you're running around doing in the morning, you're probably on a schedule and you probably need to be somewhere at a certain time, which means sometimes you don't have time for everything. But there's always that one thing that you just won't leave the house without doing. Or how about when we cut back on our finances? So when things get tight, we start to try to cut back on some things. And as we look at our finances and our bills, we oftentimes think, well, there's this one thing like that I have to have. For some ladies, it's their hair. For some, it's their nails. For some people, it's, their cell phone. Whatever it is, there's usually probably more than one thing, but at least one thing where you say, I can pare down and I can skim back, but I can't give up this. Or what about that one thing that you, food-wise, we all have something that I can eat good, but there's this one thing that I'm gonna let myself have. There's this one thing that I need to have that I won't give up. For some of us, it's chocolate. For others of us, it's coffee. We all have probably more than one thing in many areas of our life that we can scale back or cut back, or when we're doing good, but it's just this one thing. And I hope that as I've been talking about this, that one thing is your time with God. I hope and pray that is the thing that none of us will leave the house without giving up. But the reality is, the enemy loves to steal that time, right? He loves to keep us so busy that we just make time for that one thing, which is the most important thing, which is our time with the Lord, talking to Him, praying, being in His Word. Sometimes when we get in a hurry and we're trying to get out the door, and then we get home and we're, running here, running there, making dinner, all of a sudden the day's over. And sometimes we miss that one thing that was the most important thing, because the enemy kept us so busy and running, and our choices make us so busy and running. Really, it's really about choices every day, that somehow we didn't make that a priority. And I'm sure that you, like me, when I don't make that a priority, I can feel it. I can feel it all day long. I can tell. Some of you might be sitting here thinking, you know what, I'm so tired of hearing about time with God. Okay, I'm trying to work it in. I'm trying to make it a schedule. This isn't to harp on anybody. This is to encourage. And I am encouraging myself here, because the enemy loves to steal that time. But I think of it like tithing. You give this time to the Lord out of a cheerful heart because you want to. And what happens is, what the Lord gives you and equips you for the day, what the Lord blesses you with, is everything that you need. And you continue to pray throughout the day, right? We meditate on His Word day and night. We can be praying under our breath throughout our day. We can talk to Him in our car. We can talk to Him in our home. He'll meet us wherever we are. And we know this, but somehow we still seem to think at times, I hear this a lot, and again, I'm guilty of it too, is, well, I didn't have time. Yeah, I know I need to get back in the Word. I just don't have time. Well, you need to make time. That's all I can say about that. And I, again, am talking to myself, and I say you need to because it should be the very priority. Out of everything, that's the one thing that we shouldn't give up and can't give up, is that, because it is our lifeline. It is our strength, our wisdom, our how can the Lord be our everything and be our strong tower and our strength and the Holy Spirit guiding us if we're just waiting until we have time, waiting until it's part of my schedule? Well, I'll get up earlier when I start going to bed earlier. Well, I got to bed too late. I had this and that. Well, I got to fit in this and this and this. Those are all technically excuses, right? And the Lord is just waiting, and He's full of grace, and He's not going to make you feel guilty. He's just going to bring you in and draw you in. As you abide in Him, He abides in us, right? And so I want to just read out of Luke 10:42. This takes place when Mary and Martha were with Jesus. So Martha had invited Jesus into their home. And of course, Mary and Martha, we know this story, are sisters. And Martha was busy in the kitchen serving, getting everything ready. And of course, and she was getting frustrated. We all know this, right? So she sees that Mary is the one that's spending time with the Lord, and she's the one getting all the details ready. And so Martha says to Jesus, like, help! Don't you see? Don't you see that I need help here? So out of out of verse 40, Martha was distracted with much serving, and she approached him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Therefore, tell her to help me. We've all been there. We're probably all there on a regular basis. Siblings, I need help. How come I have to do everything? Spouses, I mean, the list goes on, right? And it's like, Lord, don't you see I need help here? But Jesus answered her and said, Martha, Martha, which I love that he said her name when he addressed her. You are worried and troubled about many things. Verse 42 says, but one thing is needed, and Mary has chosen that good part, which will never be taken away from her. But the one thing is needed. What was that one thing? That was Mary spending time with Jesus. That was Mary at Jesus's feet. That is where we should be. He's telling her, Martha, Mary has it right. She's got that one thing, okay? So let's just remember as we go throughout our weeks, throughout our days, let that one thing be Jesus, because it is life-changing, literally life-changing, when that is your highest priority, is just talking to him and being in the Word and loving on him and the way that he will love back on us and equip us for the day. And Psalm 27:4 says, one thing I ask from the Lord, and this do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and seek him in his temple. Again, this verse starts out with, one thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek. What are we seeking, and what is that one thing?